Hi guys, can you hear me? Okay, so can I have slide deck? Can that be up here? Thank you. Let me start off by asking you guys a question. How many of you have been to a career counselor at some stage of your life? And you guys can raise your hands. Okay. Wedding planner, tattoo artist, bartender, musician. How many of these words have you heard from your counselor? Anybody? Okay, park that thought for a bit. Let me share some facts with you, okay? 70% of India's population is below the age of 35. That's 50% below 25. And can you guys guess the average age of the world? Anybody? Just speak out. Louder, I can't hear you. 28, whoever said that? And if 28 is the average age of the world, why is every career counselor old? Okay. And it's not just the career counselors. I mean, you watch talk shows on news channels, you'll find everybody who's representing society is actually older. Anybody who's running businesses is actually older. You know what they all have in common? Gray hair. Because gray hair comes from experience, and experience means wisdom, right? Yeah, that's what you say? Now, I graduated from school about 10 years ago, and I got into this college called SRCC, which is supposedly one of the better colleges around here. But the moment I entered college, the first day, I realized that I was not going to learn here. And I was not going to learn here because it was not fulfilling my curiosity. So I started walking up to random people and I said, give me work. Give me any work, I will do the work. Don't have to pay me, just give me work. So starting off from shredding paper to photocopying paper to writing letters to taking tuitions to working with a lawyer to helping an ex-Ernst & Young consultant set up his firm by doing audits on the weekend. I did all of that, right? But somehow this feeling I thought would get over after college, but it didn't. I got recruited by one of the top consulting firms in the world. And the day I entered that place, I wasn't happy. And I realized that I was not happy because someone else was trying to decide my pace of learning, right? So I continued to do all this work, and luckily for me, people decided to offer me jobs, and I said I don't want to do that. I want to continue to do different things. So I quit, and at the age of 20, I decided to set up the Viewspaper. Now, Viewspaper is a media company, and one of the things that you're required to do is go and do tie-ups and talk to advertisers. To get clients, to get money. And when I would walk in for these meetings and they would see my face and I'd hand over my card saying CEO, the first question they'd ask me was, how old are you? And after I told them what my age was, they'd make me say, I'll talk to you in a bit. So I'd wait there outside for hours trying to meet them, or they would not take me seriously, right? And during one of these occasions when I was completely down and out, I mean, I had given up. I was 20, no one was taking me seriously. I was trying to do all these things. I walked up to my dad and I said to him, Dad, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to build a voice for 1 billion people. I don't have age on my side. I don't have experience. I don't have the knowledge. How am I going to do this? And he turned around and asked me a very interesting question, which you guys should try and answer for yourself, right? And he asked me, Shiv, what is 25 years of work experience? And I didn't know, I didn't have the answer for that. And I said, Dad, I don't know, why don't you tell me? And he said, Shiv, 25 years of work experience can be 25 years of work experience, but it can also be 1 year of work experience repeated 25 times. And that just struck me because I was like, wow, if I can work 25 times harder than these guys in 1 year, I can be as experienced as them in a year, right? So let's look at the math, right? The math is wisdom comes from experience, right? Everybody agrees with that, right? But the youth don't have experience. They don't. But what they do have is curiosity. How many of you have stuck a finger in a electrical switch as kids? Or tried to touch like a hot thing? Or trying to do a wheelie on a bicycle knowing that you're going to fall? We've all done that, right? Because they're curious. The interesting thing is, it's only curiosity that fuels innovation and change, right? And you can look at any timeline, you can look at history of any country, you can look at any sector, it's only curious people who've brought about change. And interestingly enough, All curious people were young. Let's look at some curious people. You know this guy? So when Steve Jobs spoke about the concept of the computer, people thought he was mad, right? Bill Gates, Alexander conquered the world at the age of 32. Martin Luther King was assassinated at 35, but the concept of the civil rights movement came in much earlier. Anne Frank, who changed the world through her writings, okay? Larry Page, who created Google, Zuckerberg, who created Facebook, and we all remember this guy. Do we? Do we know this guy? So we all remember him as this old man walking with a stick, right? But this is the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, when he launched the first nonviolent protest against racism in South Africa. Now, there are lots of problems happening in this world, loads of them, right? And we're probably at a very important stage where some of these problems need to be solved. And it's only curious people who are going to solve this problem. It's not the older guys, it's not the experienced guys, it's not the guys with the wisdom. It's the curious guys who are going to solve, because they have the ability to think beyond, to try new things, to take risks, right? And the interesting thing is, the curious people are us, they're the youth, okay? And all that everybody else in society needs to do, right, is just and let them be. Just let the youth be. They'll figure it out. Thank you.